You know what I never got about the whole execution, not, like the gladiators dying, is like how do you really build up a fan base? Like if you show up, like you just bought your new, like you're a Roman, you're a big fan of the games, you got your like Filius Maximus shirt on, picture of the guy's head on it, like holding the sword, you're like, you got your Maximus hat on, you're really into it. Like, I've been watching this guy for years. Like, Maximus, he's my boy. Like, you go and you sit down, and then that's just not his day. But it's not like, we'll get him next time, Maximus. Like, you're the fucking man. No, he's dead. Like, all that attire is useless. Now you have to pick a whole new fandom. Like, I don't like the idea of executions in it, because then you can't have a fandom, because they're dying too often.
So I think what they would actually do is they would have these gladiators, like especially the famous ones that had their names written on walls and stuff. Like I think they would get a lot of like what do you call it in UFC where they just feed somebody to you? It would be like that. I think a lot of times they would get easy opponents, like they just have to kill 5 Jews, you know. But they're just out there unarmed, like confused, and it's bright all of a sudden because they've been in a pit somewhere, and this guy's out there decked out from head to toe with a big spear and the shield and everything. Like that would be Monday for him, and then maybe next month he fights like a sick tiger, but he's got like a chariot archer kind of thing going on or something like that.
Even then, like, if you get, like, one poking back in that day, like, someone's dead. So I think it's like, oh, this guy, Maximus, he's the best. He's already won one. Like, that's big. You know, you won
I remember
twice.
reading something about some, like, champion that had won. The reason they were talking about this guy is because he'd won so many times, like, that it didn't seem believable or even realistic that he would win that many. I think they gave him a lot of, like, softballs, and they went out there and basically executed a lot of people.
We were talking about Hitler. You know, so if you go back far enough, then guys like Genghis Khan, you know, they're not considered terrible oppressors and rapists and whatever. They're admired for their accomplishments, right? The Ming Dynasty, different Greece and Roman leaders. How long until Hitler is admired for his accomplishments? Because he's not even as bad as like a Genghis Khan, right?
No. Like, if you don't talk like objectively, like how many people they killed. Right?
What? That was 2 people.
Sorry, go ahead, Kyle.
I'm wondering, like you know, Genghis Khan existed in an era of brutality, right? You know, maybe he was eviscerating babies while he forged his empire, but if he hadn't have been eviscerating the babies, some other guy named Cole would have been doing it just the same. It just seemed like that was kind of the way of the times, and that he was taking over an empire. Maybe I don't know anything about that.
If someone was around to live tweet Genghis Khan's, you know, storming through Asia, people would be like, all right, this guy's a real piece of shit. But
even Stalin is starting to turn his image around, right? People look at Stalin as like a mega strong leader, not someone who just sent people unarmed into death. He's on the upswing. Trust me. His popularity, his Twitter following is growing. His Facebook page is great.
I was going to say that we're too close. Like, we're too close. How long ago was Genghis Khan?
1200,
like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah,
because there's a chance that, you know, Hitler doesn't stay as relevant in 1,000 years as Genghis Khan does because we're so close to it, and because I know, because I'm Jewish, we're very good at reminding people, like, yo, this happened. Don't ever forget that this actually happened, people. So, yeah, remember this guy in a stupid mustache.
Oh,
so, like,
you know what would have
been 1,000 years, like, maybe he just didn't do enough. I'll tell you one thing, in 1,000 years, people would remember him if he accomplished his mission. But he dropped the ball there. I saw like
nobody
video
accomplishes
like 4 years
their
ago.
mission though, right? They all die in the end. You know, Napoleon lost in the end, but he's still...
No, his mission was to just like, you know, kill off certain people.
Yeah, no one gets that done. You know,
like, and my grandfather's like, you know, like an 87-year-old.
I mean, we did. We got it done. There used to be a lot of Indians that lived here before we got here.
True, yeah.
Millions of them. They had a vast civilization, many tribes, and
that's another perfect example.
I mean, we've all been to the
disease
casino
thing. That's another perfect example of the disease thing, where just people from one continent show up and then suddenly wipe huge swaths of people out. That's how the bubonic plague did get started. Like, someone in Asia brought it
counted as like the first like kind of like chemical or like biological warfare was those blankets.
Well, not quite, because like back in the old days, they used to throw like plague victims' body parts over the walls with the catapults.
Yeah, that's right.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
That's hardcore.
You know, it would be a good way to.
Send the plague heads.
I was trying to think of a way you could go back and change Hitler without killing him. So here's what you do. You have to like clear a couple weeks on your schedule in the past. So you travel back, Harley, dressed as a Hasidic Jew, like as Jewy as you can be, and then you kind of just from a
So I
distance.
just put a black hat on.
Yes, and then make sure the curls are going, and you just
them.
follow from a safe distance so you can see everything that little Adolf is doing. And you wait until he's bringing his painting to school to show all the other children about it, and they're like, "Oh, Adolf, your painting is very subpar. No, you'll never be famous for that." And then you step in and you put your hand on little Adolf's shoulder and you go, "Stop making fun of Adolf. He's a great painter. And
This
you
painting
have
is
the talent that he
amazing."
did." Yeah, and then you beat the shit out of those other Germans, and he'll remember for the rest of his life. You know, when he comes to power, they'll be like, "Who do we need to go after? Do we want to go after the gypsies? Do we want to go after the Jews? Nein! Never the Jews!" Because he will remember it that way. That's what you need to. That's the perfect back-in-time plan for Hitler.
Or
I
maybe
do
he's
like
just
it.
like, maybe he's just like, we kill everyone that doesn't love painting.
Yeah. He shows them pictures of street paintings. If they do not pick mine, they're done. You know.